Hey, I have two things to say before I start the whole proper main video. First off, Josh, our Friday, didn't make a video last week, which is absolutely fine. He just didn't know we were starting, so he's going to make one this week with the whole theme thing, and you can go check out his channel if you want to know more about him. Second of all, this is mainly to the other people on the channel, we need to find out some kind of system of just picking out what we're going to talk this week, because I had no idea what to do, and then Katie suggested to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And also, if you are watching this or subscribed, suggest things that we can talk about, because that would be nice. Katie suggested that we talk about main obsessions. I'm only going to talk about one obsession because I have way too many obsessions, and it's because I watched Two Towers yesterday, so I'm going to talk about Lord of the Rings, which is a very, very big part of my life, and it's just so important to me. I read The Hobbit when I was quite little and didn't really get it. Not really little, but about 9 or something, and I didn't get it, and I gave up about halfway through. And now it's probably one of my most read books. Apart from Order of the Phoenix, I don't know if that's more. And I've read Two Towers quite a few times, and the other Return of the King and Fellowship a couple of times, which are amazing books. And I'm probably just going to focus on the films mainly for this video, which I've also seen a billion times, because more people have seen the films, and I find the films are easier going, if that makes sense. Like, the books, they're really good, and I would just recommend them to anyone, but they're more of a thing that you go into more depth with them, and the films are amazing and in-depth and everything like that. But yes, I'm going to talk about the films because they're easier just to sort of summarise things. I think I first watched them when I was 6 or 7. I think I watched them because I thought Orlando Bloom was really hot, which is a weird thing for a 6 or 7-year-old to think, but I still think Orlando Bloom is really, really hot, but I also think the films are good for other things. They're just really magical, just stories, not magical in the sense that they include magic, which they do, they have magic in them, which is quite cool, but also because they're just stories of people, like human people, but they're not human people obviously, because there's hobbits and can't think of anyone else, elves and dwarves and orcs, which are horrible people, but there's all these like magical creatures, and that's just wonderful. And there's all these like underdogs that rise up and prove that they are good enough, and it's just a story of hope and unity and just love in such dark times. And one of the things that I do like about Lord of the Rings, and it's something that I do now more look out for in films and TV shows and books, is the portrayal of the women. And there's 3 main women. There's not a lot of women, but then again, it was set in the olden times where women wouldn't have been seen as important. But the 3 main women in the films are Arwen, Galadriel and Eowyn. Arwen, probably, I don't think she's a weak women character, but she's the one that has the most arguments, because her main sort of thing seems to be furthering Aragorn's plot. But I think that she has a lot of merit, seeing as she actually convinces Aragorn to sort of give him the sword, which makes him go off to the Dead Army, which, if you haven't seen the film, probably is very, very confusing. But anyway, she's quite important. And then you get onto Galadriel, who doesn't do a lot of fighting or anything like that, but she's sort of the leader, or a leader of elves, and she's just really amazing. She's strong and fearless, and I like that. And then my favourite, and I didn't used to like her when I was little, but now she's probably one of my favourite women characters after a couple of others, but it's Eowyn. She is a perfect example of a woman being oppressed, and it reflects sort of ideas about women in armies today, not being able to fight, like on the main bit, because she isn't allowed to fight, and she disobeys the orders that she's not allowed to fight and goes and fights anyway, and she ends up being like better than most of the men in the armies. And I think that is just a really strong message, especially when I was so young watching the film, even though I didn't like her. Sorry. She was just a strong character, and I think she is a strong character, and I like that she ends up happy, and I like her. I know that kind of went off on a tangent talking about women, but it is one of the things I like about Lord of the Rings, And the other thing I like is because it's so long ago that it's easier to believe that it actually happened. Because, you know, sometimes you watch these things and you're like, oh, that's really good, but they're sort of happening right now, and it's easier to think that it's all a massive cover-up and someone's covered all the Lord of the Rings things up. They probably haven't, but it's nice to believe that. And Ian McKellen said something about it, saying that Middle-earth existed, and I like that. I like that it's a faraway place that, I mean, I wish I lived in Middle-earth. Well, I don't know, because there's a lot of fighting and a lot of evil people there, but there's a lot of fighting and a lot of evil people in our world. And I think that's the thing, is Middle-earth and 2012 Earth, even though it's written in like 19 something, they sort of reflect each other. They're different people and different times and different things, but they reflect each other, and that's what's just amazing. Hazel, I think it's your birthday tomorrow. I might be wrong, but in your video last week you said it was your birthday on Tuesday, and tomorrow's Tuesday, and I might be completely like wrong, and it's going to be really embarrassing if I am. But if it is your birthday, happy birthday. I think you're 16. No, I think you're 15 now, but you'll be 16 on your birthday, so happy sweet 16. I hope it's as sweet as mine was. I ate Chinese food in my pyjamas, which was fun. I did it with friends, I didn't do it alone. So I'll put a Christmas cracker with you because that's all I've got. Just sort of don't look at that. Christmas crackers are really shit. This is going to go on for so long, this video. Why didn't the skeleton go to the New Year's Eve party? He had no body to go with. You've got a little fortune fish. Anyway, I'll end the video now.